Hello and welcome, everyone. So, another day, another bad, terrible news from Tigray and from Amhara, and this time a report by the BBC that about 50 people have died from hunger in mostly in Tigray, and some of them in Amhara. Well, to be precise, 46 people in the town of Yechla in Tigray. It's a small village town in Tembian, central Tigray, and four of them from Waghumra. So that is not far from Yechla. And the signs are that people in that area are suffering from hunger. And the report also says that about 4,000 cattle have died because of drought. Again, from the same area in that surroundings. And the report does talk about other things as well. For instance, that there was a flooding in the Somali region of Ethiopia, and a lot of cattle have died, and people have also died as a result of the flooding, and generally that there is a lot of suffering in southern Ethiopia as well. But the main sort of the main weight of the report is about food shortages in Tigray. And so the BBC said that the suffering intensified following the suspension of aid by the UN and by the American government, followed the alleged diversion of aid by the Ethiopian regime and by the Tigrayan authorities and by the Eritrean regime. I think by now it will have been about maybe 4-5 months since the distribution of aid has been suspended. And given that Tigray was on a war footing for 3 years, you could imagine the amount of suffering and hunger that must be unfolding in Tigray. And we know, although the report said that 50 or 46 in Tigray and 5 of them in Amhara have died, we know that the number must be much more than that, given that most places in Tigray are unreachable, and a lot of places in Amhara, because of the current conflict between the Ethiopian regime and the Fano paramilitary group, a lot of places in Amhara are unreachable. And I have been hearing that there is a lot of suffering in Amhara, shortage of food, and for sure that the BBC figure is an underreporting. This is the best that the BBC was able to do, given that there was only so many places that they could have covered. So I think this is a very disturbing development, and it's such sad turn of events that the BBC, 40 years after it had broken the hunger in northern Ethiopia and mostly in Tigray in 1987, the devastation then, of course, of much more grand scale than it is now. But even then, it was the BBC that was the first one to report, and that resulted in the international community, through Band Aid, rallying around and sending food and saving a lot of lives, including a lot of people that I know. And 40 years down the line, we are where we were then. And for anyone with with a sense of appreciation of history, this is a really sad development, and especially given that this could have been avoided if it wasn't for the negligence of the Abiy Ahmed regime, if it wasn't for the fact that the Ethiopian regime has been funneling money to buy weapons to kill people, if it wasn't for the fact that the Abiy Ahmed regime, in collaboration with the Eritrean regime, invaded Tigray for 3 years and destroyed everything, livelihoods and agricultural implements and everything, we wouldn't be here. So this is completely Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki made famine and hunger, and we are starting to see the result. And then you have the international community who doesn't seem to be interested in getting to the bottom of things, to understanding why it is that there is hunger in Tigray, why it is that people are dying from starvation in Tigray. It's not because they are lazy. It's not because Tigray is short on natural resources. It is because of what Eritrea and Ethiopia have done to Tigray. They have devastated the region, and people are now without any recourse. And the little lifeline they had from aid, that has been suspended because, again, deliberately the Ethiopian regime diverted the aid for its own benefit. And anybody who cares to understand developments in Ethiopia would know these things. They would know that everything is carefully engineered by Abiy Ahmed, but that is not the messaging that you get. It's as though curse or natural disaster had befallen Tigray. That would be the impression that you would get if you were to rely on reading the news to understand why people are dying from hunger in Tigray. Everything is deliberately engineered by Abiy Ahmed. And I think any attempt at solving the problem permanently started from really understanding that painful fact. There hadn't been hunger in Tigray or in Amhara from 1991 to 2018 until Abiy Ahmed came to power, and that wasn't a coincidence. It was because the government then, for all its problems in terms of suppression of freedom of expression and all that, had a carefully developed strategy when it came to eradicating poverty. And the reason why people are dying now is because of the policy that Abiy Ahmed has followed for the past 3 years, with the backing of Western powers, from the American government, the European Union, and the absolutely useless African Union. And the result of that is that we are now witnessing, in the 21st century, we are witnessing people dying from hunger, and that makes me really sad, and it makes me very angry at the complicity of the international community. To be honest, I'm not angry at the Abiy Ahmed regime, because that is the kind of regime that you would expect to do these sorts of criminal activities. But for the international community to willingly play would aid and abet Abiy Ahmed in this nasty endeavor, I find that very, very offensive. But anyway, please do go read the report on the BBC. It's by Kalkidan Ibeltal and Dana Nesta. I think they are the BBC correspondents from Addis Ababa and London. So yeah, that is where we are, and thank you for, or maybe I should say, if you like what we do on this channel, I think we're getting close to 7,000 subscribers. So if you hit that subscribe button again, if you like what we do, I think you shouldn't subscribe if you don't value it. Please do that. Otherwise, that was that from me, and have a Thursday, but I think it's not too late to say, or it's not too early to say, have a nice weekend. Bye bye.